Today, I want to talk about the importance of bringing value to a marketplace, which is technically why you get paid. You don't get paid for your time, although a lot of you people think, oh, I get paid hourly or whatever, but it's like, no, you don't. You get paid for the value you bring in those hours or the output that you bring to the table in those hours, but in reality, the outcome is the important part. I kind of want to talk about how I went from working in jobs that in reality most people could do, and that's why I wasn't making more money. It's very simple once you like break it down, but people don't think about that. It's like, oh, well, why am I still in this shitty call center job and like not working myself up? And it's like, well, what can you do, right? Like, what do you bring to the table? Why should somebody pay you more than what you're getting paid now? And for me, I worked all throughout college. I worked Uber to provide for myself, and that's just driving and talking to people. So when I graduated college, I actually started working for a radio station and a newspaper, actually. Well, the radio station was first, and then I didn't get fired, but they were basically like, hey, we don't really see like a future position that we could, because it was basically like an internship. Like I was kind of technically getting paid, but not really. And they were like, we don't really see a position that we'll be able to put you in. And that might have been just like the nice way of firing me, I guess. But that's what they said. And then I worked for in a newspaper once I graduated. And that was ass. I didn't like that. And I was getting paid shit. And my boss was a bitch. And so that just made me like hate it. And I had like literally studied to do that specifically. Like I wanted to be a journalist. Sports journalist to be specific, because I love sports. That didn't go the way that I thought it was gonna go. I also like studied what I studied because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do, and I was just like, well, I like sports, and I think I can be good on TV and shit. Like that was just like my dumb 18-year-old brain. That's where it was at. Like you really shouldn't be making major life decisions that early in life, but that's just what everybody tells you have to do, right? So like, that's what I chose. And up to that point, I had only worked in those places and obviously Uber. But when I stopped doing that, the newspaper thing, I started working at a call center that sold belt buckles, like custom belt buckles. And obviously there, what helped was my communication skills and like my people skills, I guess, because I could talk to people and communicate stuff to them that they needed to know, or help them place an order online and stuff like that. So in reality, like I wasn't bringing much value to the marketplace at that time. I was also 22, 23, at the time. I obviously had that degree, but I had noticed that that's not the path I wanted to take, at least not the traditional path as most people would call it, like working yourself from the bottom, from the gutter, as Stephen A would say. And like it just wasn't me. Like I don't like having a boss. I don't like having someone over my shoulder that can tell me what to do, And that's fine if you are that person, cool. I just wasn't that person. I started thinking like at that time, like why am I not getting paid more? Why can't I make more money, basically? And I really broke it down. It's like, well, why would someone pay me money to bring value to something that I can't bring value to, right? Like, what am I, giving this company that for them to pay me more? And so that really started, getting down into my consciousness. And so I quit the call center, but I just started working DoorDash after that. And it's like, you like switch one for the other. It's like, okay, now you're only just driving and delivering shit to people. And yes, you don't have a boss. And yes, you can work at whatever time you want, which was nice. but you're still getting paid shit money because what fucking value are you bringing to the marketplace? Like, I keep coming back to it. And, I was talking to my friend yesterday, and he's like doing bookkeeping and like accounting stuff. And he's like studying for a CPA test. And he's like, dude, you don't understand. It's really fucking hard, blah, 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 blah. Like, I could make good money just doing bookkeeping, and that's only a certification that you need. Like, you don't got to go do this whole CPA thing, and it's like super fucking hard. I was like, well, if you don't want to do that, like, like, what the fuck, what else, like, how else are you going to get paid more? He's like, well, I'm comfortable with what I'm making. And I was like, okay, then that's fine. But don't complain about how much you're making, or don't complain about how shit's not changing or how you're not getting paid more, because what are you bringing to the marketplace? Why are you more valuable, and why should they pay you more for that? Obviously, if you don't have this like CPA testing, like test that you've done and passed, and like certificate and all this other shit that actually an employer can look at and be like, oh, okay, right? For me personally, it's like, yeah, I had a bachelor's, but I didn't want to pursue that. And also, like, minimum, it was basically minimum wage. Like, it was shit. It was shit. It was shit money, shit job. Like, I didn't like it. So I really just like was like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to do that. And that's when I started working at that call center, like I said. And then I started working at DoorDash. And when I was doing DoorDash, like, the whole plan was really like, okay, let's make enough money so me and my brother can start something. We didn't know exactly what the fuck we were going to do. We just had like an idea of kind of based on like what my dad, did back in the day and what he still kind of does, not really. But it was in the transportation business and all these other stuff that we're doing now with our dealership, our commercial vehicle dealership. But in reality, it was just like, okay, I'm going to do this DoorDash shit because I have the time, and like, obviously I need to make a living. I need to pay rent. But in reality, like, it's only for now. Like, in the back of my mind, I knew that there was more. And during that time, I had to learn how to add more value, not only for myself, but for, like I said, the marketplace and for other people, so I could get paid more. And I had a degree and everything, but that wasn't helping me. I wasn't gonna get paid more because I had that shit. So what do? YouTube. We live in a fucking great time. It's never been easier to be successful. In reality, like, all the information is out there. Now you have AI and shit. Back then there was AI, but it was like really shitty. It was like the first like 6 months of ChatGPT, and if you guys remember that, ChatGPT was like, it was just like a thing you could talk to, but it wasn't really that fucking smart. Like, it wasn't really helping you like that. Yet, obviously, fucking now it's crazy. At the time, I wasn't using ChatGPT or anything like that. It was just YouTube and fucking reading shit and like fucking sitting down and actually fucking trying to, how the fuck am I going to get better at sales? How the fuck am I going to get better at marketing for my company? Like, once we had the money and we started that shit, I was like, well, I've never sold anything in my life. My brother helped with that because he was a salesperson. He used to sell apartments. He used to sell, components back in the day. Like, he used to sell phones. Fucking, that fool was a hustler. So for him, like, selling came naturally. But for me, like, I had to fucking learn that shit. So in my mind, it was just like, okay, if I learn how to market and I can get leads, those leads can potentially turn into sales. And if they don't turn into sales, they turn into reps that will help me learn how to sell. That just made sense in my mind. Get leads, get reps, get sales. Like, it's just fucking boom, boom, boom. Okay? It's that simple. In my mind, it just made sense. So I got to it. I was like, well, I gotta learn how to make ad creatives and make video ads and just learn how to edit. And honestly, that stuff I kind of already knew because well, for the longest time, I wanted to, make like a sports channel and stuff like that. And I did try it when I was like 23, I believe, like 3 years ago. And it failed. But this is why I say that you never start from zero, because that shit helped me a lot with like editing of videos and editing of audio and editing of short clips. Stuff like that obviously helped me with the marketing. And now with this, now that I'm doing this also. But, at the time it was just fucking so new to me. And people like, they cheer for you, but they're, they definitely don't want you to do better than them in a way, if that makes sense. Like, they'll cheer you on at first until you get better than them, or you show them like, oh fuck, like I could have done that. Like that fool a year or 6 months ago was doing this or that, or had no clue how to do that, and now look at him. And in reality, it's just reps, getting that, getting that through your brain, and really learning day by day, like how to implement stuff that'll help you not only with the marketing but also with the sales. And I feel like I was already a people's person. People like me in a way. At least I like to think so. And that helped me with sales. My brother always told me that. He's like, I feel like you would be a great salesperson. I feel like you would be a great salesperson because people really like you. Like, you don't gotta fake shit. And that gave me a lot of confidence. I still had to fucking learn it though. Like, it's not easy. No matter how much people fuck with you, a lot of people, there's different types of buyers, but a lot of people buy logically, and no matter how fucking nice you are to them, they're just gonna be like, well, this doesn't make sense, for me specifically, so I'm not gonna fucking buy it. And that's completely fine. There's other people that will literally buy from you just because they fuck with you. And it just depends the type of person you get. But I had to learn all that, and bring that to the marketplace so I could get paid more. And it's really that simple to me. Like, people want to act like the world is against them, and like, I'm not getting this promotion, and I'm not fucking doing this, and I've been for this company for so fucking long. And it's like, okay, have you been doing like the bare minimum of your job? Like, you've only gotten through your job, basically. You haven't actually tried to like expand something, learn something more, maybe make something more efficient in your company to the point where it's like, oh shit, this guy did this for us, like we should, promote him or do something. Me personally, I couldn't do that for somebody else, because fuck that. I'm not trying to make you more money. I don't give a fuck. I want to make myself more money. That's why I started my own business. But that's just my mind. And obviously there was way more risk involved in what I did. But it never crossed my mind that it wasn't going to work out. It was just like, I had to do this. Like, I have to do this. I have to get it done. There's no alternative. Yeah. If you want to get paid more, learn more shit, keep growing. There's not much to it other than that. It's like right now, for me personally, last year and a half, I basically learned how to be very efficient at meta ads. I've got that locked down. I know how to do it. I know how to create all these ad creatives. I know what works, what doesn't work. At least for my specific business, like, I had to learn all that. And now I'm getting paid accordingly. I doubled, almost tripled my income from whatever I was making when I was working for DoorDash. How did I do that? I had to change. I had to learn. It's crazy to me. People want to fucking victimize themselves, but don't want to put in the fucking work. It's crazy. But all right, y'all have a good one. Peace out.